Everyone wants to go to Rome, Venice, and Florence, right? But if I were to visit Italy for the first time, I'd visit Verona. Most tourists skip it, and that's a huge mistake because Verona is like if Rome and Tuscany had a baby, but with fewer crowds, lower prices, and shockingly better wine.
Absolutely.
It's got ancient Roman ruins, a world class opera scene, medieval castles, lakeside escapes, and some of the best food you'll ever eat in Italy without as many tourist traps.
And don't forget the wine.
Mhm. But here's the problem: Verona is still under the radar for now, and that's changing fast. And if you wait, you'll miss what makes it so magical. This video is going to cover exactly how to explore Verona like a local, with at least 10 must see attractions, the real Italian food and wine tips, and the secrets that most guides will never tell you. Hi, everyone. I'm Rick.
And I'm Andrea. We live in Italy, and today we are taking you to one of our favorite absolute city in Italy, the magical, romantic, incredibly underrated Verona. We come here at least once a month or more, and we are about to show you how to visit Verona like a local, including where it is, how to get here, what to eat, how to go around, and of course, the absolute best thing to do in Verona, including some local tips you won't hear anywhere else. So let's get started.
All right. So, where exactly is Verona, right? If you're new to Italy or just planning your first big trip, Verona is in northern Italy in the Veneto region. It's the same region as Venice. It's 120 kilometers west of Venice and 160 kilometers east of Milan. Well, from Rome to Verona, the distance is approximately 505 kilometers. Verona is also pretty close to Lake Garda, Italy's largest lake. In fact, from Verona to Peschiera del Garda is only 30 kilometers. Now that we know where Verona is, let's talk about.
How to get to Verona? Verona has a small airport called Valerio Catullo Airport, and the airport code is VRN. It's located approximately 10 kilometers outside of the city center. The airport is well connected to most European hubs, including Frankfurt, Paris, London, Amsterdam, and many more. Additionally, from Verona, there are charter flights to Zanzibar, Maldives, Iceland, and the Dominican Republic, so it's quite well connected.
Mhm.
If you're traveling by train, Verona main station is called Porta Nuova. You can get direct high-speed trains from Milan in 1 hour and 15 minutes, Venice in 1 hour and 12 minutes, and Torino in 2 hours and 80 minutes. If you are coming from Florence or Rome, you will have to change the train in Bologna. From Rome to Verona, it takes approximately 3 hours and 30 minutes, and from Florence, it will take about 2 hours and 40 minutes. From the train station to downtown Verona, it will take 20 minutes walking or 8 minutes by taxi, so
Yeah.
it's very convenient.
Yep, definitely. Now, if you're driving, Verona is also very easy to reach because it sits right on the intersection of two major Italian highways, the A4 that connects Torino to Venice, and the A22 that is the main highway that connects Modena to the Brennero Pass, and Austria and Germany, of course. Now, if you're driving to Verona, you're going to be parking in one of the many parkades around the historic city center. Now, most of these parkades are not free, and the city center is strictly what they call limited traffic zone. And driving in it without a permit is going to end up costing you way
A
more.
lot of money.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, let's talk about the weather in Verona. Verona is located at the foothill of the Alps, and the mountains have a major influence on the weather. Winter temperature range between 6 and 10 Celsius during the day and -1 and 0 during the night, so it's quite cold in the winter. In the summer, the weather can be quite hot and humid, with temperature around 30 degrees Celsius during the day and 18 Celsius at night. Spring and falls are the best ideal month to visit Verona. In fact, in the spring and fall, temperature ranges between 18 and 23 Celsius in the day and 7 and 12 Celsius at night. Spring and falls are also the rainiest season, with an average of 7 to 8 days of rain per month, but are still the best month to visit.
Mhm. All right, so now that we covered the weather, let's talk about how to get around Verona. Well, first, Verona is very walkable. In fact, walking is the best way to soak up all the beauty from the ancient Roman bridges to the medieval piazzas. Actually, the majority of the historic city center is pedestrian only. Walking in Verona is also incredibly pleasant. Just wear some comfortable, well broken in shoes, and you'll be all set. Now, For those of you with mobility issues, there is a tourist train available that goes in the proximity of all the major landmarks in Verona. The ride takes about 25 minutes and it runs daily from 10:30 in the morning to 6:30 at night. Also, Verona has a hop on, hop off bus service that's also available.
Excellent. So, where to stay in Verona? The best place to stay in Verona is as close as possible to the historic city center. That way you can go out and explore the city without commuting. In the city center, you can find several hotels and bed and breakfasts that offer different level of service, amenities, and prices. Now, if you want to have a more relaxing stay, you can stay in the countryside outside the city and commute to the city center by train or by bus or by car.
It's very good advice.
For example, you can stay in the Valpolicella area, one of the many wineries and bed and breakfast in the area. Another great option to stay is at Lake Garda, where we have our own bed and breakfast and you can enjoy the many stunning places around the lake. And you can take then the train to Verona when you want to visit the city, which is very close by.
Now, before we talk about what to see in Verona, we want to give you some very important information about what's called the Verona Card. The Verona Card includes the entrance to Verona's most important attractions. That's priority access to the arena and all public transportation. You can get the card valid for 24 or 48 hours depending on the amount of time you'll be spending in Verona. The validity is calculated, it starts at the time of the first use. And you can scan this QR code or click the link in the description to get your Verona card. Now, here's a secret. What I love about this is that if you book through Get Your Guide, you'll be able to cancel it and get a refund if your plans change.
Absolutely.
And this is the same for all experiences booked through Get Your Guide. And not only that, if you ever have any problems along the way, just reach out to them. They'll do everything they can to help you out. So, once you have your Verona card, it's time to start getting your money's worth and visit all the sites. Start with the most famous landmark of them all, and that's the
Arena. The Verona Arena is a Roman amphitheater that is 2,000 years old and is still in use today. Of course, not like gladiators fight, but it's concert and most importantly, opera. In fact, last week we saw Nabucco at the arena and it was absolutely stunning.
Yeah, you remember how everybody was all lit up and stuff?
It was amazing. If you are visiting in the summer, grab opera tickets, even if you don't like opera. Don't worry, you don't need to know the language. Not even Italians understand it, what's said and sang in the opera. They are there for the music and trust us, is an unforgettable experience. The arena is one of the best preserved Roman amphitheaters in the world, and it is possible to visit from Monday to Sunday. And with your Verona card, you will enjoy priority access, avoiding the very long lines that are usually at the arena during the week.
Yep. And of course, the second most famous landmark in Verona happens to be Juliet's house, called Casa di Giulietta, which is located about 5 minutes from the arena. Very simple. Now, be prepared because this is also one of the busiest attractions in Verona, and sometimes the line outside is very long. At Juliet's house, you're going to see the famous balcony, the statue, and of course, the walls that are all full of love notes. Now, if you look at the statue, you're going to notice that the right breast is way shinier than the other. And this is because if you rub Juliet's right breast, it'll bring you good luck. Inside Juliet's house, you're going to get to see some of the costumes and sets used in the many movies about the two lovers from Verona. Also, you can go and take a selfie right on Juliet's balcony. How cool is that?
Absolutely. Now, if you continue a few blocks away from Juliet's balcony, you'll get to Porta Leoni, one of the ancient Roma city gates still preserved today. The gate was part of the old Roman fortification of the city. It is worth a visit and maybe grab a coffee in the area. You won't be disappointed. After visit those two landmarks, you can go to Piazza delle Erbe. This is a true heart of Verona. In Roman time, this piazza was the Roman Forum. The stunning piazza is surrounded by amazing building with fresco. In the middle of the piazza, you can see a nice market where you can buy souvenirs, food, and grab some little refreshment on the way. Also, in the middle of the piazza, you can see there's a fountain with the statue of the Madonna di Verona, which is also from the Roman times and is more than 2,000 years old. Also from the piazza, there is the Tower of the Lamberti, one of the oldest towers in the city. That's also included in your Verona card, so go and climb it. The visit to the tower, however, you have to pay €1 extra if you want to take the elevator.
Yeah, which we happily paid in this particular case,
Yeah,
right?
it's a lot of steps.
Yes. Now, the view from the top of the tower, well, it's quite amazing and totally worth visiting. Also in the piazza, you can see something very peculiar under what's called the Arco della Costa. If you look up, you're going to see something that you wouldn't think about ever finding in Verona. Hanging from the arch, you're going to see a whale rib. Yes, it's true, a whale rib. Now, there are several legends about why this rib is here. The real reason why the rib is there is because some store owner put it there to attract business to his store in the 18th century. And I call that some pretty creative marketing, if you ask me.
Absolutely. From Piazza Erbe, in a few minutes you walk, you can reach the Ponte in Pietra, an ancient Roman bridge that still stands strong today. Unfortunately, this bridge was destroyed in World War II, but it was completely restored in its original state after the war. On the other side of the bridge, you'll see the Roman theatre from the first century. From here, it is possible to walk up the hill to the Castel San Pietro viewpoint. If you don't feel like walking up the hill, you can take the funicular that offers stunning panoramic views while climbing up the hill in less than 3 minutes. The cost is €2 one way at the time of recording, and no, it's not included in your Verona card. I mention it because when you get up the top of the hill, you'll find the absolute best view of the city. Don't miss it.
Yeah.
Absolutely don't miss it.
Totally agree. And of course, after visiting the viewpoint, you can then cross the bridge one more and walk down Corso Porta Borsari to another Roman landmark of Verona called, well, Porta Borsari. This was another Roman city gate, and today it's still very well preserved. And you can walk under the gate and feel like an ancient Roman.
Absolutely.
And then you can continue strolling down Corso Cavour until you reach Arco degli Gavi. And you guessed it, it's another Roman artifact in the city of Verona. This arch is right by the Adige River, and it's a good spot to take a picture. Next to the arch, you can admire the impressive Castelnuovo. This medieval castle was the fortress of Verona. And inside of it, now we have a museum of ancient artifacts, religious arts, and paintings, and it's free with your Verona card.
Also, it is possible to walk on top of the old walls of the castle, admiring a stunning view of the city and the Adige River. On the other side of the castle, you see the ancient Ponte di Castelvecchio. Crossing this bridge to the other bank of the river, it's a must, and to do in Verona. And please don't skip it because the view from there is quite stunning. After visiting the castle, we suggest walking around the ancient street of Verona and get lost and admire some of the stunning sights that the city has to offer. Also, visit all the beautiful churches in the city and get inside the Duomo. It's included in your car, so
Mhm.
don't skip it.
And get your money's worth.
Absolutely.
Now, we cannot create a video about Verona without talking about the wine, right?
Yeah.
Verona is world famous for its wines, especially Amarone and Valpolicella. These two wines are famous all over the world, and if you have time, you should consider taking a side trip to the Valpolicella area for some wine tasting. It's truly a magical experience. And by the way, you can scan this QR code or check the link in the description for some wine tasting tours from Verona. Now, before we wrap up, we want to give you some special local tips just for you.
First, start your visit early in the morning. This way you will beat the crowds and the heat. Second, when it is time for lunch, look for a typical restaurant. Avoid the ones that with flashy photo on the menu. Those are usually way more expensive than they should be, and they target tourists. Third, be prepared to walk a lot. Verona is small, but to explore it, it will have a lot of serious walking. For this reason, wear comfortable shoes. It is very important. Lastly, if you have the time, go to explore the surrounding area. Lake Garda, the Valpolicella area, and of course the stunning little town of Valeggio sul Mincio.
Also, by the shores of Lake Garda, you will also see some stunning landscapes and medieval towns. And also, when you're in the area, you can visit three of the most famous amusement parks in Italy, and that's Gardaland, Caneva, and Movieland. And if you travel with the kids, these parks, well, they're just going to make everyone happy, the whole family, right?
Yeah.
So that's it for Verona, right? Romantic, historic, charming, and walkable. What more could you want? We truly love this city. Every time we visit, we find something new. We hope you found that this guide will help you fall in love with Verona as well. If you found it helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe and drop a comment below with your favorite Verona memory or what you'd be most excited to see.
Absolutely. And if you're planning a full trip to Italy, check out the other video about Venice, Bologna, Florence, and more. In the meantime, we'll see you in our next video.
Ciao!